getting a lot of comments.
What is up, everybody? Aaron the Dog back with breakdown number 2 of the day. And forgot to make a banner, I realized, but this is for UFC 269, Dustin Poirier versus Charles Oliveira for the undisputed UFC lightweight title. Amanda Nunes also taking on Juliana Pena because she has to defend her bantamweight title against somebody, and Juliana Pena is, for some reason, that person. Also, just 13 other fights. We're going to get to all of those, but without any further ado, Bunny makes her return to the Breakdown Show. How you doing tonight?
I'm feeling good. Thanks for having me here. And everyone, I'm sorry we started late. That was on my fault.
Oh no, we start when we start, so there's no set time at all. But yeah, it's Thamiris is in here, Manny's in here. We got Maddie from Girly MMA Fan Podcast. Definitely give them a follow. Davis making his return as well. That's good to see him. But yeah. And then Boston Comments, of course, making her moderation through the comments section. Charlie will be popping in and out here for me as my co-host here on the scene. But yeah, we got 15 fights to go through. I'm always honest. There's one right to start off the night that I'm personally invested in. So yeah, I'm eager to get into that. I'm glad to have you back, Bunny. It's been too long, but you've been busy, doing your things in and out of the cage. So definitely give Boston Comments a follow if you're not, which I'm sure we all are. But we're going to start at the flyweight division here with a fight that I'm probably most personally invested in on the card. If you follow the channel, you've got to know this is a Julian Robertson channel. Usually during Julian fight weeks, I end up dyeing my hair red for the fight week. I've decided to give that a rest for this one. The last couple have not gone our way, we could say, but they're against two of the best in the division. And she did have her moments in those fights. That's not just me talking from a biased perspective, but taking on Priscilla Cachoeira here, definitely interesting fight. Basically a striker versus a grappler if we're really breaking it down to what it really is here. But I'll go to Jillian first here, do my usual thing here. 26.5 now, Jillian is. She's 9-6, but hasn't really ever taken an easy fight the last couple against Talia Santos and Miranda Maverick, losing both of those 29-28. Had moments in both that she could have gotten the finish, but didn't. And so 2-fight losing streak for her, but definitely staying active in the grappling realm, which I give her credit for. Took a decision off of Caitlin Chikagian in Submission Underground, and then stayed active, went to Mexico City to take on one of the better grapplers there. And just it's been an up and down, honestly, for Jillian. I'll be honest. She does have 5 finishes, which is great. Second in the flyweight division to some girl named Valentina Shevchenko. So that's all good. But, I'm also, she's opening the card, and that is not where you want to be at the end of the year. Even if it's on the biggest card of the year when you're at her position, this is no doubt a must win for her. If she loses this one, it's probably one away from being one away from, if you know what I'm saying. So I think that she's taking on a very good striker here, or a decent striker with good power, and Priscilla Cachoeira. She's shown that, but she also does not have takedown defense. So, Jillian, as much as I want to see her striking kind of shown off, this isn't the fight to do it. The last couple, she's tried to kind of expand her striking, and I think that's been great, but also it's been, I think, what's led to maybe her being on a short end of that Miranda Maverick fight, that I really think she could have won that fight if she would have focused more on going her direction. But what are your kind of thoughts on this fight?
I think if you look at if you've never seen a Jillian Robertson fight and you just look at 9-6, you might wonder why she's still in the UFC. But if you watch her fights, then you can understand why she is still, wildly underrated. She's faced extremely tough competition, and her grappling is elite. She doesn't take easy fights, and I don't think Priscilla. While some may disagree with me, I don't think Priscilla is any different. I think Priscilla is a tough competitor, but this is the start of Jillian's uprise. This is where she comes back and proves herself, and I think she realizes that grappling is her strong suit, and that's what she's going to roll with. I don't think she's going to try to prove her strength here. She's going to go with her strong suit here, which is
And one thing that I've definitely liked about this camp for Jillian, I know some specifics. I won't get into those, but I mean, she's been training with Raquel Pennington, Miranda Maverick. She's been traveling to Colorado, traveled to Mexico City at one point. Also been in Florida, training not only with her guys and Dean in the garage, but training with fellow females, training with Hannah Goldie. I think that's very important for females to train with other females, so that they're going with someone going full blast, and that they don't have to worry about, are they going 100%? Is it someone my size? Things that I just think are going to benefit Priscilla Cachoeira. I'll just break down really quickly just for everybody so that I'm not doing such a biased job. But, I am picking Jillian. There's no real mystery there. So, but Priscilla 10-3 here. She is on a 2-fight win streak. So we got a 2-fight win streak versus 2-fight losing streak. The wins, however, Shayna Dobson and Gina Mazzani, they are both by finish though. So the uppercut was a pretty clean finish, and against Shayna Dobson, who's coming off that big win against Maria Agapova. So definitely, and Shayna Dobson's a veteran, and she put her away. So I mean, this is at any point very could be over with Priscilla. But she has a puncher's chance. We look at how she lost to Luana Carolina. She lost to Molly McCann and Valentina Shevchenko. The Shevchenko one, okay, throw that one out, but she was absolutely beat down in that fight. And Molly McCann, she was taken down against. She was outstruck 153 to, I believe, 68 in that fight. So while Priscilla is this good striker, she is a low volume striker also. And she was controlled in that fight. And then Luana Carolina. I think that Jillian Robertson will roll here. I think she gets the finish. I personally am putting a little bit on the TKO finish, because I'm sure that the submission finish is, a little bit juicy, but I think the TKO, I like her to get some ground and pound. She's had a frustrating year, I think, and a lot of it's going to be taken out inside the octagon. The odds, I will not lie, were shocking to me. I don't know if you've taken a look at the odds ahead of time or not.
She's a favorite, isn't she?
She's a significant favorite. Minus 400 favorite against Priscilla Cachoeira. She's one of the biggest favorites on the card. If I'm making the odds, I agree, but I'm a little bit shocked that those are the odds. And I do mean this with all due respect. I can understand anybody taking a shot at Priscilla Cachoeira at this price of plus 290. She's got legitimate power. If this is on the feet, it's going to be a real problem. But the only bet I can say with Jillian is you got to prop one here, because minus 400 is insane.
That's insane.
So,
you're
the
tapper here. I'm just the analyst, so like I have the duty of just rolling with whoever I want.
Exactly.
But I think this is her. I think she's got a lot more to prove. But I do like Priscilla. She's not to be slept on either. So it's a great fight to open up the card, I'll be honest. And Jillian should be proud, because this has been the card of the year. Like, people have been talking about this since it was announced. So there's something to be said for her to be opening up this early prelim card. Yeah,
but I am going to go with the big favorite in Jillian here. I'm really used to, in many fights, kind of talking about her as the underdog. So I was quite surprised when I saw the odds. It was almost like I made the odds, but I'm going to go with them here. Going to go on to the next fight here. This is a bantamweight fight. Interesting one. Not sure exactly how to feel about Tony Kelly, if I'm being honest with you. I wasn't sure when they signed him. I saw him against Kai Kamaka. It was okay. Nothing like too remarkable. He's 34, nearly 35 years old. Prime time is running out here for the 7-2 Tony Kelly, in my opinion. 5'9", 70-inch reach. Last fought in October of 2020, so he's been off for nearly a year. Fighting out of Louisiana. He's definitely a very tough fighter. Coming off the win against Al Aikisi, who has come back and won the Titan FC featherweight championship. So after being cut from the UFC, so Ali is not a bad fighter. It was an okay fight. His fight with Kai Kamaka, was close, but Kai Kamaka kind of edged it out, but it was nothing too remarkable, honestly. Just overall, he's gone to featherweight, he's gone to flyweight, or to bantamweight. He's kind of been all over the place. With Randy Costa, he's not going to want to have this fight on the feet. He's going to need to make this really dirty, get some takedowns. He's got a good high guard, leaves his body open, though. I feel like Costa's going to take advantage of that with the kicks. Costa had a good fight with Adrian Yanez, was winning the first round. I think he just completely gassed himself out, though. And
he threw 54 strikes in the first round, and then that was it.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, you have the way you fight, you have to be able to fight the whole time. He's 6-2. He's faced pretty shit competition before. Adrian Yanez, honestly. Journey Newsom and Boston Solomon are okay, but two quick finishes in those. Boston Solomon is less than okay, I'll be honest. Journey Newsom's okay. And then Brandon Davis, he lost second round, rear naked choke. So anytime it's gotten into the second round, he's lost. He's lost pretty quickly. He appears to be about a 3 to 4 minute fighter. And that's where with Tony Kelly, he's tough as nails. And while I don't know how I feel about him, I do think that overall, I think that I don't like putting any money. This is the money talk, so I know blah 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 for a second, but I don't feel like putting any money on Randy Costa. I don't know what happens to him after the 4 minute mark, but I don't like it so far. And until he shows me he can go longer than 4 minutes, it's hard for me to bet on him. And Kelly can make this ugly. Kelly can make this a dirty fight. Get some takedowns. Costa has less than a back game as far as I've seen so far, and his takedown defense is pretty good, but. Either way, I'm going to go with Randy Costa to get the first round finish, but not betting it and not too confident.
I'm also not betting it, but I'm not betting any of these fights. This was also a weird matchup. I think Tony Kelly could possibly play chess match and kind of use the fact that Randy Costa comes out round one and gives everything, which is fine. Because it makes for a very exciting first round, but then what happens to get to round 2, round 3? So
he's never gotten to round 3. He's gotten finished to round 2 each time.
Exactly. So Tony Kelly, if he did his research, should know, hey, maybe I could play this out. If you're trying to climb the ranks, you're trying to make a name for yourself. Maybe he should play a chess match and keep the distance away from Randy Costa, because Randy Costa is known for coming out and just exploding in the first round and giving it everything. But then round 2 comes around, and what's he got left in the tank? Shout out to Adrian Yanez, by the way, since we're talking about him.
Yeah, great fighter. Absolutely, great fighter.
But if I was going with anyone, I'd go with I'm going to go with Randy Costa. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen too much of Tony Kelly that's made me think I'm very confident in him. But, listen to the capper on this one. I don't bet, so I'm just the analyst here. I think Randy Costa could maybe catch him with one of those fucking 300 punches he throws in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, this would be an interesting fight to see, kind of test. I'm not saying you really can go in there and control win or if you finish a fight, but going a decision against Tony Kelly, maybe a casual fan would be like, oh, that's not good. He didn't finish him, but I'd like to see him go 15 minutes. And against Tony Kelly, I just don't see how Tony Kelly wins this fight. He's also coming off of torn rotator cuff at 34 years old. That's why he's been out since last year. And I was listening to an interview too, where he was talking about how he used some alternative medicine to therapies to get over it. So all things I'm not crazy about here. So I'm not really sure Tony Kelly's the guy to get it done, but I look forward to fading Randy Costa in the near future. Also, isn't he a Boston guy?
I know. All right, that doesn't mean
There we go.
anything to me, though. I know everyone was wondering during the Font and Aldo fight why I wasn't rooting for Font, and I just am an Aldo fan. Boston's got nothing to do with it.
No, that's what I was just asking. You know, I wasn't saying it should influence your pick, but yeah, we're gonna both go with the Zohan here to get back on the winning track here. The odds, by the way, for the Zohan currently, the Zohan, one of my least favorite Adam Sandler movies, if I'm being honest. Randy Costa minus 185, plus 150 on Tony Kelly.
See, that makes sense, though.
Yeah, it does make sense, absolutely, and it's enough for me not to bet on Randy Costa, and not enough for me to bet on Tony Kelly. So I get to sit back and watch this fight, enjoy it, let my heart rate come back after Julian Robertson's finish in the first fight of the night. So
this will tell us a lot more about both these fighters. So if it does go, I would prefer it to go the distance as well.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with it. I agree. There's certain fights that going the distance can be a disappointment, but far less than I think most people kind of think are a disappointment. So, yeah, not for the – well, yeah, I always forget about those people. But next fight of the night, 145. This is a weird one. Maybe the weirdest fight of the night, if I'm being honest. It's basically a glorified combat grappling match. So it means they're probably going to spend 15 minutes boxing and kicking. But most likely this goes to the ground, and it's who's going to be on top and who's going to get the finish between Ryan Hall, the Wizard, and Derek Minner. No nickname. You don't see that too often, but just Derek Minner. 26-12. You don't see that too often in the UFC. Glory MMA and Fitness, 31 and a half years old now, 5'7", 71-inch reach. Same reach as Ryan Hall, but 5'10" for Ryan Hall. Fighting just down the road in Falls Church, Virginia. I know it's a few metro stops away from me, so I've seen Ryan Hall out before. 36 years old for Ryan Hall. Yeah. You know, I'm basically friends with Ryan Hall. We've eaten salad somewhat next to each other, so we shared a meal. But Derek Minner spells it Derek with an A. That's bold. 26-12, very bold. That's one word for it. Lost his last one out. 26-12, fighting out in Nebraska, but does fight out Glory MMA and Fitness. Very good camp there. Led by the James Krause, fighter and coach. One of the early coaches of the year, kind of faded as the year went out, but lost his last time out to Darren Elkins when Darren Elkins just survived a crazy first round and did what Darren Elkins does, pounded him out in the second round. The Damage, still one of my favorite fighters. I don't care. Before that, beat Charles Rosa and TJ Laramie. I just broke down Tony Laramie fighting on the LFA card tomorrow. Check out the LFA breakdown on the channel right now with Lucky Locks. Cheap plug. But TJ Laramie came in with a whole bunch of hype against Derek Minner. And Derek Minner went through him like a buzzsaw in 52 seconds, choked him unconscious. And it was really, really shows what Derek Minner does. He's kill or be killed. You look at his record. And do you have any numbers on Derek Minner's record you wanted to go over, or can I go?
No, please. I have
okay.
Ryan Hall all day on this one.
Okay. Okay, good. I just didn't want to take any. But if we go back to Derek Minner real quick, first of all, he's faced a ton of crazy competition, but in his wins, I could just go through his record: loss by submission, win 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 by submission, loss by submission, win by KO, a win by decision. That should stand out because that's the only one on his record. The rest, loss by submission or win by submission. Literally the rest of his record, all 34 other fights. This guy is the most kill or be killed fighter that I've seen. He is going against Ryan Hall, though. And I think going to the ground with Ryan Hall is seriously a mistake at any point, top or bottom against him. Ryan Hall is one of the best leg lock fighters in the world. Last time out against Ilya Tapura, though, the ground and pound was the difference. Derek Minner doesn't have that level of ground and pound. Derek Minner I don't think has the level of jiu-jitsu as Ilia Topuria, who I think is one of the best fighters I think just one of the best fighters in the UFC. And I think in a couple of years, people are going to be talking a lot about that guy. He's an absolute beast, though.
The dog's going crazy.
But yeah, definitely with Ryan Hall, I'm just wondering a little bit where he's at with regards to as an MMA fighter, because he doesn't have any takedowns, MMA takedowns to speak of. He kind of does some crazy scissor takedowns, leg lock, leg rolls. I just kind of wonder, what happens, after that pretty harsh knockout, after everything. I want to go with Ryan Hall here just because I think that he might be able to get a decision if he isn't able to get the submission. And Derek Minner just doesn't show me anything but that he's kill or be killed. And I think Ryan Hall should be able to submit him based on him being submitted by about 10 other fighters. I would think Ryan Hall is able to find a submission. He's not just leg locks either. And I just don't think that Derek Minner has a stand-up or ground and pound to keep this from getting to the ground and getting submitted. So it's got to be Ryan Hall for me.
I also have Ryan Hall, and I have winning by submission because I'm hopeful. But this is probably my least favorite fight. This is a fight I'm looking forward to the least on this card. I'm very excited for it. Yeah. But for some reason, this does not do it for me, this matchup at all. Respect, of course, always respect to both fighters.
Yeah. No,
about this fight, I'll be making my food during this fight.
Okay, this is your steak fight.
This is my steak fight, which is for the first time in history not a female fight.
Well, congratulations! It's a Dear Diary moment. I'm a little more excited about this fight, but I could see it being a potentially kind of boring. But I'm hoping it's just a ground scramble fest.
Exciting with an 8-2 Ryan Hall and a 26-12 Derek Minner. How do you see that being exciting? I want to know.
Well, because I don't care about the records once they're in there. It could be the fight itself could be exciting.
Records aside, from the tape study, what you saw on the tapes, what excites you about this fight?
Well, Derek Minner is nonstop action. Either he's killing or being killed. So you got to respect that. There are no boring Derek Minner fights you can find.
Now he's going against Ryan Hall. So with this, where do you see this? I'm just asking.
I think I think on the ground it could be a very entertaining ground battle. Honestly,
it could be a mess on the ground, but sure.
Well, that's fair enough. I'd rather see it on the ground than on the feet between these two.
You and me both, my friend.
So I
submission, but I'm just.
Yeah.
I love fights, so I don't care either way. I'm very happy that they're both fighting. This is the one I'm looking forward to the least. I think Jillian in this fight should be flip-flopped.
I would be fine seeing Jillian not as the first, but I also know that Jillian does not care where she fights on the card, and also has said if anything she's okay fighting first so she can just be done.
She's amazing.
And not so either way, wherever first last, we're always going to be rooting for her. But we agree again here with Ryan Hall. That's 3 for 3 on the agreements. By the way, Ryan Hall is the -210 favorite, plus 170 on Derek Minner. I think that's pretty spot on with how this should go. It is what it is, though. That you don't. We know that you make your picks without looking at the odds. I think a lot of people kind of cheat and look at the odds and then kind of make their picks, and we'll pick anyways. For another podcast. Next fight at flyweight. Very, very good sneaky fight on the card, actually. Here towards the bottom of the card, Alex Perez versus Matt Danger Schnell. Two of the harder hitters and better finishers in the flyweight division here. Matt Schnell, 15-6, a Louisiana product here, 31 years old, almost 32. Fighting out of American Top Team. 5'8", 70-inch reach. He's going to have about a 5-inch reach advantage on Alex Perez. I think that could be very big, but Alex Perez does move pretty fluidly in and out on his feet. So Sometimes that reach not too big of a disadvantage with Alex Perez, but 15-6 match. Snell here lost his last fight out, but definitely just a battler. Lost to Bontarine, Rogerio Bontarine by decision. Good Brazilian fighter, and it was a good fight. It was close, but what Schnell does, one of his issues is sometimes when he's on the offense, forgets about the defense a little bit. A lot of times costs him by getting knocked out, like he did against Pantoja. Got rocked quite a bit against Tyson Nam, and that's what ended up losing him a fight. He was kind of fighting better. He was the better fighter in the fight, but left his chin out there a little bit too much. The wins against Espinosa and Smolko, very, very good. Inui and Beltran, okay. Got knocked out by Rob Bont. No shame there. Knocked out by Hector Sandoval, though. That's kind of a little bit questionable. It's been knocked out a lot in his career by hard hitters. And Alex Perez is certainly one of those. Really good leg kicks also for Alex Perez. 24-6, good experience. 30 fights is crazy for the 29-year-old. Did lose his last fight out, but it was to one of the best guys in the world. So you can't really fault him too much there. But he has been out for over a year now. Or almost a year now. Actually, over a year now. It is October or November 21st. He was last and got choked out by Figueiredo. Kind of embarrassed by Figueiredo quickly, but wins over Formiga. And that's about it for notable wins there. Lost to Benavidez. I'm going with Alex Perez personally, but I think that he is better at delivering power and damage while staying out of the way of the damage, which is Schnell's kind of issue. I think Schnell's slowing down a little bit, but we'll see. Alex Perez, easy money according to Justin. Perez and O'Malley, most common parlay pieces this week. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up with Sean O'Malley.
There we go.
All
good,
right.
good job. It's all good.
I kept it together for as long
there
as
she is. It's okay. You're doing good. You're doing great. You're doing great. What are your thoughts on Alex Perez versus Schnell?
I also have Perez, but I don't think a 3-1 favorite is correct. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than that. And the only reason
odd talks with Bunny. Okay, tell me what.
That's the only odd I think I wrote in my entire notes. Got my clipboard here, as you all know, the infamous clipboard. I don't know. Schnell's chin makes me a little nervous. That's it. Part of me thinks that Perez can just chip away at Schnell's chin, and that'll be what finishes it. But 3-1 seems odd to me.
3.5. Yeah.
I'm still picking Perez, but it does that the odds seem a little off. That's all.
Yeah, it's another fight that I just got to kind of pass on because 3.5 to 1 is incredibly overpriced. He's also 29 versus 32. I think a lot of people think Matt Schnell maybe is a lot older than Perez, but Perez 30 fights at 29 years old. I am taking Perez too, so we're agreeing again. But I'm not putting a bet on this fight. I think the better bet might be to bet just to under 2.5. I think that we are likely to see a finish in this fight, one side or the other. So maybe under 2.5 with a flyweight fight, we get a decent price. But I see Shoebox, no shoes in them, saying Schnell is the play. Totally fair there. Perez severely overrated. That's fair. I think Perez is pretty good. He's lost to Joseph Benavidez and Davidson Figueiredo, so no shame.
So that's nothing to bet on. But this isn't one you have to bet on anyways. There's so many fights that you can't bet on in this. And
there's 15 fights.
How finishes go. You don't necessarily have to bet on the winner. You know what I mean? Like there's other. I'm not a capper. I'm just an analyst. So where we differ here. But this is not one you have to bet on. If it's, I Perez winning. Schnell could get it done. I don't have faith.
Yeah, I don't have 3.5 to 1 faith in Perez either. So I definitely agree with that. Yep, it keeps shifting. So definitely a shot on Schnell. Not a bad idea. We've seen over the last few cards the dogs have been barking. So
dogs usually.
Yeah, but here we go. Next fight. This is really an incredible fight at 125 between. I'm just gonna say this. This is kind of controversial. These two shouldn't be fighting.
Really?
And the only reason I say that is there we go. Perfect. That is a perfect reaction. And let me tell you why. Because you have two under 24-year-old prospects here in Miranda Maverick and Erin Blanchfield. Why have them fight right now? Why have them fight in the middle of a preliminary card in a very shallow division you're trying to develop? Leave Erin Blanchfield, Miranda Maverick, and King Casey and Jillian Robertson. Leave them alone. Let them develop. Let them. Yeah, I do. I'm going to put Jillian Robertson right in there. So,
I love it.
yep. I am. I might as well have dyed my hair red. Fuck it. But I just think that you're kind of canceling out here. But either way, I'll take it. This is going to be a great fight between two prospects. They really mirror each other in a lot of ways. And Erin Blanchfield and Miranda Maverick. Miranda Maverick training with Jillian Robertson, Raquel Pennington, and others out in Colorado for this camp. So she did leave Norfolk, Virginia, where she was training with her father. So props to her for getting out of her comfort zone and getting better as a result. 9-3 for Miranda Maverick here, coming off of that loss against Macy Barber.
It was not a loss.
I'm confused at how anybody. Yeah, well, I do see that it does say a loss on a record here. According to two of the three judges, they said it was a loss. I was not one of those judges. I have not talked to anybody yet who has told me they thought Macy Barber won that fight. Except for I did bet on Macy Barber, so I cashed my ticket. Of
course you did.
But that's wrong. I was wrong. I just saying I cashed the ticket as I was just. Yeah, exactly. So counts. Before that, a win over Jillian Robertson. Really good performance in that fight, but Jillian did come on in the third round very, very strongly. Other than that, Pearl Gonzalez and Liliana Jojua, her last two out. Miranda Maverick, very, very good blitzing kind of style, Muay Thai fighter. Good just overall game, good MMA game and everything like that. I think that she's very strong. She's still developing into a flyweight. She was at strawweight for a while in her career, and she is very physically impressive, but also still, I think, growing into the division here. And, she's looked good. She should be on a 3-fight win streak here. This was supposed to be Macy Barber here. Macy Barber got injured. So I think karma kind of worked out if the karma was real. Taking on a really good fighter here in Erin Blanchfield. I've been a huge fan of Erin Blanchfield for a long time. And she's still only 22 years old. So it's to say that a long time says how active she's been and how impressive she's been early on in her career. Cold-blooded is a great nickname for her. 4 straight wins for her, 7-1 overall, coming off the win against Sarah Alpar. Before that was in Invicta, also on CFFC. With Invicta, lost to Tracy Cortez by split decision. Otherwise, perfect record. Beat Brittany Cloudy and early on Kay Hansen, who's now doing her thing in the UFC. Beat Victoria Leonardo, who's in the UFC, so has several UFC wins. Beat a 6-1 broken Walker Sanchez, the Australian, with Invicta. She's very, very strong, good grappler. Just got her black belt, trains with Danielle Kelly, who is one of my favorite.
I love her.
Yeah, Danielle Kelly's an absolute badass. Trains with Maverick up in New Jersey. And so this is a hell of a fight between two prospects. It's going to be so close. And the odds should indicate that. I would anticipate that Miranda Maverick is the favorite, so I would be taking a shot on the underdog, which is Erin Blanchfield. But I think this is going to be really close. I think that the difference is going to be Blanchfield's a little bit stronger, more ready for the flyweight division, and her wrestling is going to be the difference here. Miranda Maverick has shown a propensity to be taken down in her fights, including with Jillian Robertson and others. Deanna Bennett, it's been shown. So I am going to edge towards Erin Blanchfield, and I think it goes to a decision. So I'll take Aaron Blanchfield by decision. Two really good prospects who hopefully see each other again.
I like that. I like Blanchfield. Honestly, this was a tough one to pick. I am pissed. I'm still forever will be pissed off at the Macy Barber decision. Not that it was a total robbery. It just, I don't know what they picked that. That was a political decision, but Miranda Maverick is plenty marketable. I don't know why they wouldn't have rolled with who won that fight.
Yeah.
Miranda has grit. She's always impressed me. She's just so strong. She's got such upper body strength. It's insane. But you bring up a good point. Why would they have these two incredible prospects go up against each other? You know, like why try to stunt each other's growth like that? You know, so that's a little disappointing.
It's a great fight, but it's also a great fight they could have in 3 years with much more on the line, and where they're both even better, which they can still have.
4 years old,
Which
they're babies.
But
babies.
Yeah, it's just but either way, like it's tough to call. But yeah, I do like Blanchfield in this.
What are the odds for this one?
Plus 115 on Aaron Blanchfield, minus 140 on Maverick.
So she's not a huge underdog. Like, I mean,
no, it's a very close fight, and I mean the odds have been a little bit over generous on Alex Perez, which makes me want to take a shot on Schnell, to be honest. But here it's pretty spot on, and in a close fight. With my pick, I do like to have the dog, and I have the dog in Aaron Blanchfield.
You know I love dogs, but I also love Maverick. And
right.
I don't know. I guess, but then again, to be fair, Blanchfield's last couple fights, regardless of the outcome, she was dominating. So she, she's got good control, and she knows what she's doing, and she's also a little bit young, not by much, but she is a little bit younger than Miranda. And
well, do you think that's maybe an advantage for Miranda than at 24 compared to a 22-year-old Blanchfield?
That's why I said. I mean, Miranda's got a little bit more experience.
Okay.
Blanchfield has faced Jillian, right?
No, Miranda faced Jillian.
Miranda faced Jillian. Excuse me.
Yep.
Which is tough competition, I think, but. I don't know. They're both babies, man. They're both so new. It's just from what I've seen from Miranda, I have a little bit more confidence in her, even though she technically won against Macy Barber. But I'm not going to keep bringing that up. I'm going to go Miranda. I know she's the favorite, but I didn't really.
That's good. I mean, that doesn't matter.
I love this underdog pick, though. I really do.
This is our first disagreement of the night. Makes sense, I think, in this fight. I think this is one of the closest on the card. So definitely is one that is fair to have a disagreement on. And again, we're going to enjoy it, but it also doesn't need to be happening yet in a weird way. So, but we're going to, it's a good problem to have ultimately. But one of these girls is going to have another loss on their record early on in their career here. But going to move on to the next fight here, 185, Andre Muniz versus Eric Anders. This is an interesting fight. Eric Anders, former football player from Alabama, blah, blah, blah. Get that out of the way now. 34 years old now, 6'1", 75-inch reach, taking on the 6'1", 78-inch reach of Andre Muniz. I just always like to mention the reach right off the bat. Muniz will have the reach advantage in this matchup by 3 inches. Also 31 years old compared to a 34-year-old. So break down the Spartan Fitness MMA, Fight Ready MMA, Eric, ya boy, Anders. First here. Eric Anders is 14-5. Dogs are going to bark, of course, because
you're in the dog. That's the whole point.
And the dog, they get the idea of the channel completely. Eric Anders won his last fight out against Darren Stewart back in June of this year. Had to fight Darren Stewart twice. The first time he fought Darren Stewart kind of got the better of him, though, which I think a lot of people kind of forget about, but made the adjustments, came back, and won the official fight, won by decision. Before that, had lost to Krzysztof Jotko before beating Vinicius Moreira and split decision against Mearshart. I just have never been able to get a great read on Eric Anders. He really blitzes forward with his punches at points, kind of bouncing and I didn't even mean to have the football pun there. Bounces in and out on, gets into, kind of a kung fu karate style. Sometimes he'll try to kind of work the cage control a little bit, but doesn't have much takedowns. Basically with Muniz, when he submitted Jacare and broke Jacare's arm, he, in my mind, became the new Jacare. So it's kind of that simple for me. Muniz is submission. He's a crazy submission threat. He's a legitimate black belt. He has been knocked out in several of his losses. So that's my main concern. There is his chin. I think that Eric, your boy, can find it probably. But if Muniz subs him, am I surprised? No. I'm going to go with jiu-jitsu here and Muniz to get the win. And I'm going to say he gets the submission one. But Anders, by all means, I can understand anybody going with him. I hate to say this again, but not putting too much of a bet on this one. Maybe not going the distance would be the way to go again.
Yo, that break on Souza, though. That break on Souza, who is one of the top grapplers of all time. That was insane.
That was going out. That was going out like a samurai.
I can still hear it in my head. That was insane. I don't know. That was insane because I think Eric has the striking advantage here. He is 34 years old, which is always like I don't know. Mm-hmm. But Andre broke Souza's arm. I'm going fucking Souza. I mean Muniz all day.
Andre Souza. He broke his arm and took his name.
Jiu-jitsu. I'm going jiu-jitsu on this one. I gotta go with Andre. I got to go with Andre on this one. Yeah, 7 straight wins, by the way, for Muniz here. Also submitted Bartosz Fabinski. Before that, had a really nice choke to armbar finish there. Finished Taylor Johnson on the regional scene. Bruno Assis as a win over who I just broke down for tomorrow's LFA card. His only loss coming to Osman Mirzakhanov, who was supposed to debut last week by KO. So really, Muniz has been on a roll lately. I just think he keeps it going here against Eric Anders, but I get people who are on Anders. Anders is a very athletic, explosive, tough to contain guy. And if Muniz doesn't get the sub, it was a little bit like, how does he piece together the decision? Very close odds, minus 135 on Muniz, plus 105 on Eric Anders. So we do have the slight favorite in Andre Muniz here, but we're back to agreeing after that whole one disagreement on a razor close fight between two prospects here. But the closest we've been on our card, I think.
Yeah, we do not usually agree this often, but it is what it is. We both make our picks independent, regardless of what has been accused at times, and yeah. We keep going. We got another 185 fight here, and I'm going to make a prediction that we don't agree here. Bruno Silva, the Brazilian, taking on the Beverly Hills Ninja, Jordan Wright here. And this is I feel like I'm the only one super excited for this fight. I'm super pumped for this fight. I think this is action, nonstop action, however long it lasts.
Who is excited for this fight?
Okay, you've got to get that. Sometimes I like to make jokes, and I like to sometimes pretend that like I'm the only one excited for something that everybody's excited for. I do the same thing sometimes with like great movies when I see them for the first time. Like I'll see a classic, I'll see like The Godfather, and I'll start telling people about The Godfather like I discovered it. I'll be like, "Have you seen The Godfather?" Like, yeah, Aaron, I saw it like 15 years ago. So it's one of my worst qualities. You're going to have to take it or leave it, but it's there. I'm the only one excited for Bruno Silva versus Jordan Wright, but join me on the excitement. Okay, Bunny and I are the only people. We're the only ones.
Starred and circled, bro.
This is why I love having you on this show, and I've missed having you here. And Jordan Wright, as people know, they've listened to me. Jordan Wright's one of my favorite guys at the middleweight division, actually. And I get it. A lot of people know him as the guy who got flatlined by Anthony Fluffy Hernandez on the Contenders series. I get it. But Jordan Wright My boy, Justin Vallega. Yes, my boy, Justin. That's right, Justin. I love it. Anytime Justin and I agree, that's a sign of the apocalypse. But Jordan right here, 12-1, because you know what? That didn't count against Anthony Hernandez. He was on the weed and failed the drug test. Don't do drugs, kids. So 12-1, not 12.
Upsets happen all the time.
12.
Grain of salt.
No, 12-1, 12-2. Beat the brakes off of Jamie Pickett last time out in a minute. Back in May, really impressive performance there. Was really looking forward to him facing Julian Marquez back in October. I was all over, obviously, Jordan Wright in that fight, but Marquez had health issues, had to withdraw. Did get knocked out against Joaquin Buckley in the second round. Joaquin Buckley, very good fighter, and it was just an issue that Jordan Wright has sometimes because he's such a taller middleweight. He leaves his head up there and can get away with that a lot, and sometimes that chin's kind of on a silver platter to be put away. Hey, Shoebox, chill out. There is a chance, and let me tell you how. What Jordan Wright needs to do in this fight is he needs to implement a little bit of his wrestling, which a lot of people are going to be like, oh, he's just a karate fighter. How is he going to implement his wrestling? But if he mixes up the takedowns, works the gas, Bruno Silva looks like a prize fighter. Obviously, you look at him; he's an absolute specimen. He's very, very strong. 21-6, has tons of finishes, 6-fight win streak. I get it, but that last fight, but he is 32 years old. First of all, had several years off before coming back against Wellington Turman. Wellington Turman, whatever, trash fighter. Andrew Sanchez, take a look. It took until 2:35 of the third round, and he was not winning that fight before then. Yes, Bruno Silva can hurt and finish at any point, and I get Jordan Wright has shown some chin issues in a few of his fights. I'm going with Jordan Wright to put on his virtuoso performance here and get it done. I think that he needs to be completely on alert and cautious in the first round. That is when Silva is going to have his best chance at getting the finish. But I think Jordan Wright implements wrestling in this fight. I also think his stand-up is very, very good and slick. But the defense and the chin issue is a concern of mine. I get it. Everybody's picking Bruno Silva. I'm on this Jordan Wright train, though, and I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Shoebox thinks we're picking this motherfucker because he has a cool nickname. Okay.
Wait, you can't bet someone because they have a cool nickname. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Not why I'm picking him. What's your thoughts on this fight, Bunny?
Aside from that garbage, I don't know. Bruno he's a finisher, so it's not easy for Jordan Wright, but I think that Jordan Wright could play the long game here and get it done. And I think it could go the distance to decision, and I'm picking Wright for decision. I don't think it's going to be a finisher. I think it's going to shock people that it's not going to go for a finish.
I think that bet right there would be an underdog pick alone. But Jordan Wright has finished all of his fights.
That's why I think it'll be a much more. I think it'll be a closer fight than people think it will. I think it'll go the distance.
Yeah, he's finished or been finishing all his fights. Well, I believe that Silva has finished all but 3 of his fights. So
that's why I'm a little wary that I don't think it's going to go on trend here. I think these two finishers will end up canceling each other out, and it might go the whole fight.
So betting this fight,
or it's going to be who finishes who. It's like literally one or the other.
Yeah, I mean that's totally fair. I think that with this fight, betting the fight to go. First of all, the odds I think are pretty nuts here. Bruno Silva is the favorite of a -360, +270 on Jordan Wright here. So one of the bigger underdog on the fight. The fight to go the distance is +320. So you're nearly picking the underdog by just picking the fight to go the distance. I actually like that bet more than betting Jordan Wright straight up. So well done, Bunny. You might be a capper in the making here. Let's see. Justin saying, Aaron, way you defended that was like me describing in high school to my friend why hottest girl in school should go to with prom, not starting quarterback homecoming Joey. Yes, that is so beautiful. I've got that tattooed on my back. Just go ahead and read that. That is an amazing comment. Thank you, Justin. Starting quarterback homecoming Joey is an incredible.
God bless you, Justin.
Dude, seriously. What concert are you at tonight, my friend? Or is it a fair?
We missed you, Justin.
Dude, that was a wild comment, Justin. I feel like I just
too, which you know is the only way.
I know. That's the only way I can read anything. I don't read anything that if it's not in all caps, I just don't read it. It's not important enough.
Well done, Justin.
That was a wild comment.
This is MMA. Anything can happen, babe. No matter what the odds say, no matter who's facing who, you have to understand that none of this is a guarantee. That's why we don't use the term easy money here, because it's MMA.
Bro, you always read like I'm the dumbest talker. I literally read the words you wrote, Justin. That's how you sound out loud. Maybe read your fucking comments to yourself out loud and see how they sound and be like, maybe I am the dumbest talker. I read what's on the script, my friend. I couldn't make that up if I wanted to, Justin. I wish I was that funny. I'm not.
We love you, Justin.
It's my fault, buddy. It's my fault. I'm sorry. I apologize for.
He's mad at you, so.
I apologize for reading your words. We'll go to the next fight here.
Yes, Indigo. Not to give away. Sorry.
265 fight here between Augusto Sakai and Tai Tuivasa. This is well, there goes Bunny, but we'll continue on here. Augusto Sakai is definitely one of these guys that I, think is kind of misleading. You look at him and he seems like he's unassuming, but had a pretty good run in the UFC so far, aside from Alexander Overeem, but Tai Tuivasa, bam, bam. I'll be breaking down first here. We know him, the shoey man himself, Tai Tuivasa, 13-3. He is now 28 years old. 3-fight win streak for him. Put away Greg Hardy in a fantastic performance last time out, and just really, really took advantage of the opening there. But he's shown propensity to have some lack of defense. Also, very, very one-dimensional here. So I'm a little bit, concerned about him leaving himself open here against Augusto Sakai. Augusto Sakai is a very, very dangerous fighter. But I think that the Sergey Spivak fight, that kind of shows you what Tai Tuivasa's biggest issue is, which is the ground game. And Augusto Sakai averages, wait for it, a whole 0.014 takedowns per 15 minutes. So in order for Augusto Sakai to win this fight, in my opinion, he has to do something he never, ever does, which is use his takedowns. He's not – I don't see him doing that. I think this ends up being on the feet, and I just think under 2.5 rounds, this is not going to go the distance. No chance. I think it's who lands on who first. 2 straight losses for Augusto, albeit to Overeem and Rosenstruck. And the Overeem one came in round 5. I don't think he looked that bad in the Overeem fight. I think that Rosenstruck does what Rosenstruck can do. And I'm just not sure if Tai Tuivasa has the defense here to avoid the danger of Sakai. Sakai is a hidden Brazilian that a lot of people don't realize, but very good Brazilian. He's had a few splits, I think, but against very good guys to get splits against in Ivanov and Arlovsky. Knocked out Tybura. That's a huge knockout for me on that record. Chase Sherman, not great, but okay. You fight who's in front of you. The Overeem fight showed me a lot. I think that Sakai is the better overall MMA guy here, and I get it. Everybody loves Tai Tuivasa. I'm going to go with Augusto Sakai, though. in this one. I think that he's going to fight very intelligent, patiently, and better defensively, while Tai has never shown me he will play defense. So Tai might go out there and take a scalp in round 1, but I'm going to go Sakai.
Do you think round 1, round 2?
I think inside of 2 rounds. So yeah, somewhere inside of the first 2 rounds.
I love that pick.
It's a violent fight here. Hopefully.
It is, and I love that pick. I really do. I tried so hard to find a way to go with Sakai, but I'm such an Australian fucking.
It's all good.
I'm a hoe. I'm an Australian hoe. I love Australia. I cannot help it. Steve Irwin has been the background of my phone since fucking high school. And I just do love I love Tai. I love the way he fights. There's a reason he's got a lot of appeal. I don't usually typically roll with hype trains, but I do love Tai. I think this might be one of his toughest competitors yet because Nesso, I think, has some grappling advantage, but I don't think it's going to get to that point. I think it's going to be on the feet the entire round. Luckily for me, I'm not a capper, so I don't have to bet on this fight, but I am picking Tai. I had a feeling he was the favorite. What were the odds again on this one?
So up to now, I'm sure that Tai is the favorite.
It has to be just based on popularity alone, right?
But it's a very, very close. It's nearly a pick 'em, minus 115 for Tai, minus 105 for Augusto Sakai. So there is no plus money in this fight currently.
That means you feel better about picking Tai then, because he might be the fan favorite, but he's not necessarily like the money favorite. So that makes you feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I just think Sakai, sometimes he wins these splits. I get against Ivanov, he did cheat. He grabbed the fence several times in that fight. And I think he's had a little bit of an issue to cheat. He's had some eye gouges. He's had some low blows. But again, you get one cheat at a fight. And if you're going to eye poke, you know who the best fighter in the world was for a while? John Jones. Do you know how many fights he eye poked in? All of his fights. He always got that warning, and then it was, oh, I'm sorry.
And those oblique kicks, which we all know are sus. So
yeah, exactly. They're absolutely. But yeah, we got our second disagreement here, and again, it's in a fight that is a complete pick-em. I think it makes complete sense.
I don't think this won the distance, so Aaron, and I want that on. I don't think this will be this. This has to be a knockout. There's no way.
Yeah, not going the distance is like minus 350 for this fight. Like you can't even make money on that.
Baller and pick it for whatever for the fuck of it, but there's just no way. Someone's knocking someone out.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, and so I think it's going to be a great fight though, and an interesting one, kind of a sleeper here on an incredible prelim. We keep it going. We're still on the prelims. We love the prelims. Watch the damn prelims. But when you are in the middle of the prelims and you have Dominic Cruz, regardless of our personal feelings on Dominic Cruz, that is an incredible preliminary card because he is a legend of the MMA game, one of the best bantamweights to ever do it, and still doing the thing. Has come back from some crazy injuries here and taking on Pedro Muniz in a really, really good matchup. Yes.
2 fights since 2016. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Definitely, he's had more surgeries. He's had more surgeries than fights since 2016.
Correct.
So he's a shit commentator.
I agree.
Not professional of me, but I said it. We each get one. I was doing so good until then. But Dominic Cruz brings out the worst in me. What can I say? 36 years. He brings in the worst in all of us, including Dominic Cruz. That was a good burn. 36 years old though, Alliance MMA in San Diego, 23-3 record, really impressive record. WEC legend, Dominic the Dominator Cruz here. But again, 2 fights since 2016, very good point there. Is coming off of a win over Casey Kenny in a split where Casey Kenny was having his way and Casey Kenny get gassed. If he didn't gas, Casey Kenny wins that fight. I think that you're seeing Dominic Cruz slow down significantly in that fight. You're seeing the injuries, the age, 37 years old, all of it catch up to him. At bantamweight, that is a very, very ancient age. And with all of the issues he's had, again, I think that Pedro Muniz can really, really capitalize on Dominic Cruz here. Pedro Muniz has had some tough calls. I think he beat Frankie Edgar in that fight. And Frankie Edgar got the split. I love Frankie Edgar as much as anybody, but Pedro got robbed in that one. Pedro has really good power, good leg kicks. Again, the two losses before that, Cody Garbrandt and Henry Cejudo, two of the best. But, Pedro Muniz, he's been staying very active, 19-6 for the young Punisher, who's now 35 years old. So maybe get rid of the young part of the Punisher. But lost his last fight out. It was at Jose Aldo. Went to a decision with him. Very, very impressive fight there, too. It was very close. Beat Jimmy Rivera before that, before losing a close split to Edgar. Lost to Aljamain Sterling. Been very active, though. Beat Cody Garbrandt, knocked him out. I think he has the power to put away Dominic Cruz. I would love to see it, personally. But I got Munoz either way in this fight. I just think he's been more active. He's still more in the game. It is only a 1-year age difference here, but there's about a 4 surgery difference in the knees of Dominic Cruz. I think if the leg kicks land on Munoz, they could really slow him down. And Cruz has to use that wrestling that he hasn't been able to use for a while, and I don't know if he can put it together for 15 minutes. He edged out that fight against Kenny where Kenny gassed, and I don't think Munoz is going to gas here. I got Munoz. You're muted. I can't hear you.
I'm totally muted.
There we go.
Because I was making like animalistic noises while
Yeah. Well, the floor is yours. Go ahead. Give us your thoughts on this fight, on Dominic Cruz, and then on who your pick is.
Munoz is underrated and underappreciated for literally no reason whatsoever. He's a great fighter. He puts on excellent pressure. Cruz, he's got 2 fights in 2016. He used to be great, but he is not anymore. I'm sorry, he's just not. And I would hate to ask a fighter to hang it up, but Cruz went from being, a world-class what?
How do you feel about Justin's comment here on the screen?
What is that? I don't give it.
Bunny.
That has nothing to do with you, A.
No.
Bunny got Cruz. You'll speak for me.
Oh, boy. I thought you would like that. A combination of Cruz and being spoken for, 2 of your favorite things. He might as well have said you look hot.
He might as well, if that would have worked.
He might as well, just the cherry on top, compliment my looks.
How many times did I tell you I was trying to be professional on this fucking stream?
You're doing great. You're doing great.
I'm about to lose it.
You're keeping it together, and it's with Cruz here. So,
okay.
Here she's perched. Oh, boy. I've missed you.
I'm going to just say, I think Dominic Cruz, unfortunately, he was a world-class bantamweight. You had your show, and it's over. It's over. It's over, and it's Munoz's time to be appreciated the way he deserves to be appreciated. Munoz is going to win this fight. I have no question. There's no question. He puts on excellent pressure. Muniz has this all day. Sorry, Ramirez. I don't know why Cruz, of all fighters, is your favorite fighter. I don't hate, but that is confusing as all hell.
I've got to say that
he fights all hunched over. I just can't stand it.
That is the most professional breakdown I've ever heard from you about Dominic Cruz. I've never heard. I know it's showing. Let's move on because that was incredible. We both are on Munoz here. Real quick, I'll get to the odds. And then we'll move on. But props to you.
All you want, Ramirez.
It's minus. And the beauty here is a minus 110 on both sides of this matchup here. So it's a pick 'em. I'm pretty surprised here. I was expecting for Munoz to be the favorite here with Cruz kind of slowing down, but either way, Cruz has.
Dude. He is so underappreciated.
Yeah, he's come on. He's been very short on a few split decisions. That if those are on his record, these are at a very different place here. Good fight, but not even the featured prelim. The featured prelim, this I'm gonna say right now might be my fight of the night. I really, really, really like this fight between Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett is one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. I just don't know how you can't like this guy. In his last 6 fights, he's had 10 knockdowns. He's had a knockdown in each of his last 6 fights. The UFC record for any weight class is 7. Blew out his knee in the first round against Jeremy Stevens, or blew out his knee in the first round of his last fight against Shane Burgos and kept going. I mean, but he's been out for a while, and he's now 36, almost 37 years old. But I'll get to him a little more in a second here. Dan 50K Ige, 15-4 now, 30 years old, coming off of that very impressive fight with Chan Sung Jung, but came up short on it. And fighting out of Extreme Couture. So I think that we might have someone with a little cuts on that champ. Yeah, I shout out to Extreme Couture, absolutely.
Always.
And, always. Bunny's cap. But either way, the Hawaiians stick together at Extreme Couture. Danny Gay joining in on the 5th or 6th island, whatever they want to call it. Knockout of Gavin Tucker, super impressive there. 22-second knockout. Had a split win over Edson Barboza. Some people kind of questioned that one. The split over Murtzak Bektik, a little bit concerning there. Had a really good performance against Danny Henry. So he's had a few quick first-round finishes. Otherwise, has very close fights that go to decision. I'll be honest, a lot of these fights. But they're very entertaining. Has had a lot of had a really entertaining fight last time out against Chan Sung Jung, but we kind of saw how the Korean Zombies looked, and he took a lot of shots against Chan Sung Jung that I don't think against Josh Emmett he's going to be able to survive. I'm a huge Josh Emmett fan. I've been following his comeback story here, and it's been very, very inspiring. Definitely didn't rush it back and can't at 37 years old. I'm so glad that you guys are working it out there in the comments. I'm happy for you.
Okay.
No, I know.
Cruz has to be, of all people, Cruz is the one that tears apart. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
2 fights since 2016, Tamiris.
Oh my God, she is not backing down. But Josh Emmett, 3 straight wins, knocked out Michael Johnson in the 3rd round, knocked out Mirsad Bektik, and went the decision with Shane Burgos on 1 leg. Got an illegal knee against Jeremy Stevens that ended that fight. I'll say it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of bullshit that he got knocked out like that. But, I mean, you're seeing a 3rd round knockout, 1st round knockouts. He keeps the power through the fight. In each of his last 6 fights, he's dropped his opponent. I think he's going to drop Dan Ige, and I don't think Dan Ige gets up. Josh Emmett, 1st round KO, baby, makes a return and makes his rise. Let's go. About better. How you doing? Good to have you here.
Round 1, he says.
Round 1 KO, performance of the night bonus for Josh Emmett. He breaks down in tears afterwards. It's going to be beautiful.
I also have Emmett, before we start anything else. I also think Ige lost against Barboza. I think that was a win. I think Barboza won that fight.
I agree.
Okay, all right. I think most can agree that Barboza won that fight, which is confusing. Leg kicks could honestly pose a problem for both these dudes. They're very heavy on their lead leg. Like if you get kicked on that lead leg, they both
knee surgeries for Josh Emmett,
which is another it's kind of scary because if you're doing any research on your opponent, you see that you know exactly where to take the weakness. I'm just not a huge Dan Ige fan. No disrespect, he is. I wish I said first. I love Extreme Couture.
Oh, we know that.
Because I do love Extreme Couture.
No, yeah, of course. Yeah.
I wish I said that first.
Is Eddie going to be in the corner for Dan?
I don't think so. I don't think this week.
So Eric Nixick in the corner for Dan Ige? That makes it easier.
Why don't we'll save that for my phone call with you.
Sorry.
Emmett was at such a size disadvantage against Burgos, and that fight was wild, dude. That was a fun fight to watch. Burgos had such a size advantage over him, and that was fun.
Hey, shoebox shoe. Yeah, go ahead. I'll drop my Venmo, baby. Getting those 5,000 rupees.
I mean, I think round one is definitely bold, Aaron. I don't know about that.
Yo, Josh Emmett has explosive power. He's been waiting to come back, and he's not fucking around.
I agree. Round one is bold as fuck, bro.
A lot of round finishes for Ige.
That's true, but he's going
for Emmett. Sorry, not Ige.
I was like,
yeah, I know.
36.
I know.
He's 36, but he's got a lot of gas in his tank. So that's fun. He is fun to watch. He is on a 3-5 win streak, but it's spaced out. So you know how I feel about streaks. But I am going with Emmett, and I'm going inside the distance. I just don't know. I don't think it's going to be round one, but
round one KO. You heard it from me first.
Listen, you're the capper, not me. I'm the analyst. You're the capper. This is how it
damn
works.
straight you are. But yeah. Josh Emmett is the -165 favorite. That is huge respect to him coming off of an injury and coming against a guy in Ige who's fully in a rhythm right now. Been competing a lot, been fighting in main events, even if it's losing. -165 plus 135 for Dan Ige. This is a hell of a fight. I got round one KO though for Mr. Josh Emmett here. So really good fight though. Very much respect. And that is the featured prelim. That's not even on the main card. It is insane, this fight card. But that prelim is maybe prelim of the year on paper. So we'll see if it delivers. But on paper, if you got Jillian Robertson starting out your prelim, I don't care who you are. If you don't think that the most finishes in the flyweight division and Jillian Robertson in 5, she's behind only the champion in leading off the card. If you don't think that's an impressive prelim, I don't know what to tell you. We're starting out the main card. We're starting out the main card with the moment many has been waiting for. We've got Thamaris, who is a Dominic Cruz supporter, and we got many the Sugar Sean O'Malley supporter, the Sugar Show, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You're doing great, Bunny. I'm proud of you. And I'll be breaking down this fight here, and we'll see if Bunny makes it back. Mr. Sugar Sean O'Malley taking on Rolian Paiva, the Brazilian here. 21-3 for the Brazilian, who's moved up to Bantamweight, fighting out of Team Alpha Male, which is also where Josh Emmett is fighting out of. A few fighters on the card out of Team Alpha Male. So definitely camp with a lot of fighters fighting coming up this weekend. Just turned 26 for Rolian Paiva. Still a very young man, young in his career, moving up to 135, 5'9", 69.5-inch reach, taking on or 5'8", I should say, taking on the 5'11", 72-inch reach of the MMA Lab, Representative Sugar Show, Sean O'Malley, 14-1. And with Rolian Paiva, definitely coming into this fight and being overlooked by his opponent, being overlooked by a lot of people, but 26 years old, 3 straight wins for him. Team Alpha Male fought in July of this year, getting a win over Kyler Phillips, who is teammate of Sean O'Malley. Came by majority decision. Sean O'Malley is going to have a lot of information coming from Kyler Phillips coming off of that fight. Kyler Phillips arguably got the draw, or some thought won. Kyler Phillips probably had a 10-8 first round. Paiva cannot start out that way against Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley is a front runner, and so that's great. But as these fights go on further, Andrei Sukotov, many other fighters have shown, including Chris Montinho, that Sean does kind of slow down as the fights go on. But Sean is a very good fighter, very precise striker, long striker. I think that's the key here in this fight with Paiva. Paiva's going to be very undersized, but I do think he's adjusting to the 135 division. To beat a guy like Kyler Phillips in your debut is no joke at all. I think Kyler Phillips is the better MMA fighter between him and Sean O'Malley, but Sean O'Malley can get the finish by all means in this fight. Paiva has been finished before in his career by Rodrigo Bontorin, but it was by a cut. And so I think that's the thing people don't exactly understand. Split decision against Kai Kara France being his other loss. No shame there. I think that Paiva is an absolute dog here, and I think that's the type of people that Sean does struggle against. I don't know if this is the fight that it gets exploited or not. Sean is going to have a severe size advantage, and that's my main concern with this fight. I can't pick Rolian Paiva. I just can't.
You did pick him already, you little liar!
But
you picked him already, you liar! On live, you're going to tell me you're not picking Paiva? Wow.
No. Can I finish?
Nope.
I can't pick.
No.
I can't. I was not done, but with with Sean O'Malley, I think that the issue is the first round. With the first round, if Rolian Paiva goes through the first round that he went through with Kyler Phillips, I don't think that he ends up getting through it. Okay. That is my issue, because with Kyler, he had that complete gas out after the first round. But with this fight as it goes on, what my suggestion is, with a betting perspective, is if you're betting Rolian Paiva, wait to bet him until after the first round. Because I do think that there's a very good chance that Sean O'Malley wins the first round, so you can get better odds on Paiva as the fight goes on. If Paiva loses this fight, it is coming by way of the first round knockout. I do believe Sean O'Malley wins by first round knockout if this fight ends in the first round. If this fight gets out of the first round, Rolian Paiva wins. So that's kind of my caveat here. I do think that Paiva needs to implement the wrestling at points in this fight. I don't think it needs to be exclusively on the feet, which I do think he has the ability to do. And Sean O'Malley has not shown me he has any sort of takedown defense against anybody. So I just think that the first round is definitely the most danger. I can understand the odds, but Fernando Padilla is in the house to remind us that we are the best.
Fernando, your boy Aaron just lied to me, like in plain sight. I'm never gonna, Aaron. I can never forgive you for that. I've texted you at least 500. Look at all that green.
No, I will check those in a moment. My pick is Rolian Paiva by decision.
Paiva, let's move on to the next fight. I can't even break this fight down.
How did I lie?
Because you said you said that Paiva was gonna win, bro. You said it so confidently in my text. So like I've been sleeping great at night. Like right. Paiva's gonna win, no problem, bro.
But there are problems that can arise in this fight for Paiva, and they come in the first round. He has to get through a first round of fire. If he gets through that, the second and third round are Paiva. It goes to Paiva as this fight goes on. But he has to get through the most dangerous part, which is that first round. If he takes the type of damage he took against Kyler Phillips, who is a teammate of Sean O'Malley has more precise strikes. Those strikes put him away in the first round. But Paiva wins the fight by decision. The bet comes with the live bet to make the maximum amount of money. From a capper's perspective, that's when my bet comes for Paiva. Paiva by decision. What is your the submission KO?
I don't care. He just is gonna win this one. I'm so
okay. Paiva. I got Paiva by decision, and I got some text to check here, but I gotta move on to the next fight, and I'll get to those in one moment. I didn't lie to you. Still haven't ever lied to you. Did not. He didn't let me finish my sentence, but or my monologue, whatever the hell you call these things when I do these on the podcast. But we do agree, Rolian Paiva. I have him by decision. You have him by murder. I'd
like to remind the people viewing, I'm not a capper, so I'm the analyst.
Absolutely, and the
bitter analyst.
Have you seen the odds, by the way, for this fight?
I don't care what the odds are. See that? Paiva.
Sean O'Malley is a -310 favorite. One of the
sugar shit O'Malley. You're so cool, Sugar Sean.
Yeah, but it's interestingly enough, Jillian's a bigger favorite than Sean O'Malley. So fuck you, Sean.
Fuck yes,
Yeah.
Jillian.
Exactly. So like, and then Fernando's asking what our picks were on the Alex Perez fight. We both were going with Perez, but we thought that the minus 335 was a bit much as a favorite. He's no Fernando Padilla.
Of course not.
No one is.
He's one of a kind, Padilla. Padilla's one of a kind, baby.
But yeah, we both got Perez. Fernando, it's lovely to have you here. Great to see you back here. So
we have to move on to another fight, though, or I'm going to lose it.
Absolutely. You're doing great. Proud of you. Kai Kara-France taking on Cody Garbrandt at 125. Cody Garbrandt making the cut down to 125 at 30 years old. Not what you really want to see out of the former Bantamweight champion, if I'm being honest here. Not to tip my cards too much to start here, but 12-4 for Cody No Love. Lost his last fight out for the Team Alpha Male product here to Rob Font. Went to a decision and decided I'm going to cut 10 pounds at 30 years old to make it to 125. Pretty concerned with the weight cut. I'm not a huge watch embeddeds to make inform on my picks, but I did watch the embedded, and yeah, he looks very sucked out as he's making this cut down to 125. He looks very frail. We saw with TJ Dillashaw how much that affected him and how much worse it made him. I think that Kai Kara-France might be shocking the world and knocking out Cody Garbrandt. I think there are a lot of people who are picking Kai Kara-France, but I think most people picking Kai Kara-France are expecting, kind of a decision, just a kickboxing bout where he just kind of stays on his bike and is a little quicker. I think Kai Kara-France has a real chance to get the knockout in this fight. Fighting out of City Kickboxing, home of Israel Adesanya, who just got his fight announced with Bobby Knuckles for Houston in February.
I'll believe it when
they're in. Yeah, absolutely. That is one of those matchups that until I see them in there, I will not believe it. But Kai Kara-France, 22-9, so definitely an interesting record. 28 years old, 5'4", 66.5-inch reach. So he will have a reach disadvantage in this fight. I do think he has a speed and chin advantage, though, and just overall tactical advantage. Won 2 of his last 3, beating Tyson Nam and Rodrigo Bontorin, while losing to Brendan Moreno and Brandon Royval. No shame in either one of those wins. I really miss Brandon Royval. I hope he gets healthy and can come back. But yeah, I like Kai Kara-France in this fight. He's the real 125er here. And yeah, Cody Garbrandt is old news and just fights the same way in every fight. Eventually kind of throws the game plan out the window and leaves himself exposed. I think Kai Kara-France, and I would say Kai Kara-France by KO.
Look at you and I just agreeing on 90% of our card right now, dude.
This is a record. This never happens.
And I don't usually. I used to be a big fan of Cody. How can you have faith? I think that divorce, with no offense and no disrespect, I think that really took a toll on his mental well-being because he has not fought the way he used to fight. And even then, it was a short career. But he's got. Mm-hmm. He seems to have a little bit more faith from his fans than he has actual proof in the ring. Or excuse me, in the octagon.
Yeah.
But he hasn't really had the best run since his 2016 win over who? Dominic Cruz. And he's got good striking. He did fight against Font, and that went the distance, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was his last fight. But now he's cutting to 125. He's making his flyweight debut.
Right. And I don't even think that last fight he fought to his potential. So who knows what version of Cody's going to show up. But either way, I think Kai has this. Kai has a win over Pava, doesn't he?
Yeah.
This is a very emotional card for your girl right now.
A split over Paiva, but it was a very good win.
It was, and it was a good fight. That was a fun fight to watch. And I was watching Kai's old boxing footage, which it was very old, but it was very entertaining, and he was extremely explosive, very efficient, and lots of damage. But again, that was a long, long time ago, so it's hard to really use that to back up who's going to show up. I know that after the glove touch, almost every single time, Kai's going to fucking come at you like a fucking viper. It's scary. So that might be what stuns Cody. I think this could be done inside the distance easily with a KO from Kai, and that's what I'm going to write down. Kai KO. I have him circled, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Okay. I feel even better in my KO pick now that I've gotten confirmation from you, because
I was struggling between a finish and a decision. I had Kai no matter what, but
yeah, he's probably very well favored to get the decision, but I just think that Cody, I don't think his chin's going to do any favors going down to 125 here. So,
and I think his mentality too. I think he's stuck in a certain mentality. You can see it in the way he fights. He's just very unsure. The last couple fights I've watched did not look like the typical Cody.
It is not a confident move for a bantamweight champion to be going down to flyweight at the end of their career. Like, not even the end of their career, but 10 pounds, that's significant at the 135 to 125 division. So, yeah, Kai France.
Small. I mean, Cody's kind of, I don't know.
He wasn't a big bantamweight, so he doesn't have much to take off. No, so it's like, where is it coming? Yep, all great points here. I agree. Plus 120 for Kai France right now. Jump on it. We got the underdog here. Minus 140 on Cody. I'm surprised this isn't a pick'em. I think it should be a pick'em. So definitely the values on Kai France here. Kai France by KO is probably a nice ticket.
What's the odds on the KO from Kai?
Let me see if they're available. Sometimes those become available a little bit later in the week on my book. I can see
how that could maybe go to decision, but I like the KO better. I think Kai can get a KO.
Yeah, I mean, the fight not going to distance is minus 165 overall. I don't have the KO prop price on Kai France, but I'd be willing to guess it's plus 300.
Oh, that's sick. That's a sick bet right there. Right. Do it.
Yeah, the bet is done. Yes. So Kai France by KO will be happening, and I will be betting that one. Move on to the next fight here at 170. Fight that I wasn't sure was going to stay on the card, to be honest. Jeff Neal versus Santiago Ponzinibbio, Argentina versus Texas here. Jeff Neal, I'll just get it out of the way. Jeff Neal had some legal issues come up about a month ago, got a DUI, had some weapon charges. So that's a big question for me right there, why you're drinking in camp at all, let alone making a poor decision to get behind the wheel of a car. So it's not making it too personal, but at the same point, this is your fight camp. You should have people around you, and you should be making better decisions. And I'm not trying to get on a soapbox at all, but it
should be on top of that. Like your coaches should not have.
And it does make me wonder about his focus and his preparation for this fight. And you got to be 100% focused against a guy like Santiago Ponzinibbio, still only 35 years old for the Argentinian here, 6 foot, 73-inch reach, American top team, 2-inch reach disadvantage to Jeff Neal at 75 inches, 31 for Jeff Neal, who's had his own health scares. Both these guys have had health issues, but the Argentinian dagger, Santiago Ponzinibbio, is still 28-4. Incredible record there for the 35-year-old. Won his last fight out here in June against Miguel Baeza in an absolute war. It's really impressive. Both guys had their moments. Really good fight. Came back from a 3-year layoff against Li Jingliang and got knocked out. Got caught leaving the pocket on a left hook. I get that Li just lost to Kazamat, so people are going to discredit Li, but Lee's a very, very good welterweight and a tough guy to come back from after 3 years off for Ponzinibbio. He got caught. It happens. I think Jeff Neal certainly can catch him, has really, really good power, good hands. It's the focus and it's the overall game plan of Jeff Neal that I'm concerned with, though. I think that Ponzinibbio really looked like he was fully back against Miguel Baeza. The ring rust that was there against Li Jingliang was not there as much against Baeza, a very impressive opponent. Jeff Neal, he's got the hands for sure, but the last two, he lost and got thoroughly outclassed against Wonder Boy. No shame there, but it was how he rebounded the next fight against Neil Magny. He just did not look there, did not look confident, looked very unsure. I kind of wonder if after this guy's lost a few in the UFC, if kind of the mojo's gone a little bit and his confidence is a little bit gone. And Ponzinibbio is just not someone to be trifled with. I think Ponzinibbio can finish in this fight. I'm going to take him for a KO. I like a lot of finishes on this card. And I got Santiago Ponzinibbio by knockout round number 2. I think it's going to be a return to form for Santiago. Far too many people have counted him out here. And I like Santiago Ponzinibbio, Argentina.
Yes, Aaron.
Your thoughts?
You're going with the Argentinian. I love seeing these Argentina fighters coming onto the cards. I love it, dude. It's such a...
It's great.
That makes my day. He is slept on, and nothing against Jeff Neal. You know what I mean? He's got his last decision wins. I think it's 2 decision losses, right? I don't have apologies.
Against Magny and
Wonderful.
He lost. Yep, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, so nothing to hang your head on, right? But
not at all.
And I will say his finish over Nico Price was fucking savage. That was a great fight. I enjoyed that fight a lot.
Yeah, you can finish anybody.
I think if GF can keep the distance, he's got a good chance to keep Santiago's on his feet. But 2 of my best friends are from Argentina, so as you know, if you've watched any of the previous episodes, I either roll Brazil or Argentina, and I'm going Argentina. But for far more many reasons, that fight against the Leech, though it was quick, that first couple until Leech caught him, that was a good fight.
Great fight.
Destroying each other's legs. They were fat. The footwork was insanely fast.
And that was off of 3 years where he lost a huge amount of weight in the surgeries. If you look at the recovery Santiago had, it's gnarly.
And it's still like all the more credit to Lee because that was just back and forth until that knockout. Granted, it was round 1, so it ended quick, but I really enjoyed rewatching that fight, even though it was quick. Both took insane leg damage during that fight before Santiago got finished. But I really liked that fight. Lee is not to be slept on. I don't know why, for whatever reason, he is slept on. I sent that like 10 minutes ago. I don't know why that's just popping up now.
Oh, I just put it up. I just saw it, so I'm featured. I just thought it was nice to put up. I'm slow. I'm so bad at the chat. It's not.
That's funny. Okay. I keep up with the chat. That's what
You're amazing.
I have Santiago's winning, and I think if he's going to win, it's going to be inside the distance with a straight right. I don't know why I'm randomly calling that.
I love the specific bunny predictions are amongst my favorite things. That is extremely specific.
I want it on the record. So
straight right. -1, and so Santiago Ponzinibbio, he is the slight favorite, -130, +110 on Jeff Neal. They're expecting a very close fight. So
I'm fine with that. I'm fine picking the favorite if it's a close fight. I'm fine.
And the crazy thing is, we have another agreement. This is by far the most agreements we've ever had on a card.
I can attest it. It's all written down, though, not just saying what you want. It's all.
Of course not. Of course not. If you are even thinking that, you can already leave the channel and don't come back. Straight up, we're about to agree on these last 2, and we know it. And so we got a really quick breakdown here. Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena. Juliana Pena has asked for her execution, and she's getting it. You don't see this too often, where someone demands to be publicly executed and makes a bunch of false claims about Amanda's faking COVID and all this. But it's just what she had to do to keep her business opportunity, which is losing a title fight to Amanda Nunes. That's what Juliana Pena's
route here.
Juliana Pena got submitted by Geraint Durandamy, a professional Dutch kickboxer. She got submitted by her. She's lost to Valentina Shevchenko. I was there live for that fight before Shevchenko became champion. Pena, she's been a businesswoman these last few months. She's been keeping her name in the mouth and in the eyes of people so that she can keep this sacrifice. They had to get Nunes a fight before the end of the year. Nunes, what up, Melissa? Good to see you. Nunes by savage beating. I think it ends inside of 3 rounds. It just depends on when she wants to be done playing with her food. Yeah.
She took out Megan like it was nothing, dude.
Megan hasn't fought and lost her job because of that. So, yeah.
I mean, how much more do we need to break down here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything. But if you have anything to add, do you think KO or submission?
I think KO. I think Nunes she's like, can't even be bothered with the ground at the moment. She's like, I'm just going to eat you alive on the feet.
Maybe she just takes her to the ground just to make it like a little bit harder.
I think she's a mom now. She doesn't give a shit about making it harder. I think she's like, I just want to end it. Let's end it so I can get back to my kid, the cutest kid alive, Reagan.
Shout out to Reagan Nunes. Fantastic. Yeah. There's nothing else to say.
If she wins this fight, which she will, she needs to start facing the men, and she needs to go a division up. That's the only way.
Well, you saw that. Did you see who the UFC is speaking to right now?
Wait, who?
Kayla Harrison.
Oh, I said Kayla should come to fucking UFC. Nobody wants to listen.
I listen.
I know. But we've never said it publicly on the channel. Kayla Harrison would maybe give her some testing.
There it is.
Kayla could take her to the ground and she could challenge shit that she hasn't been challenged with in a long time. Kayla could take her down and say, Amanda on the ground could be like, I forget how to do this. How do I grapple? What do I do? I've never been taken down. My last 20.
Amanda Nunes is currently a minus 900 favorite.
That still bothers me.
Plus 550 on Juliana Pena. Inside the distance, Amanda Nunes is minus 450. If you pick Amanda Nunes by KO, minus 275. So like it is very difficult to get the plus money. The submission is plus 425. So the gambler in me wants to go with that. But
it's not going to get to that point though, Aaron.
That's the whole point. Right. That's the whole point. Exactly. Okay. I know. Thank you for saving me my money. I'm going to just sit back and watch the domination.
Mind you, Aaron's been raking in like $2,000 every other day on bets. So you should probably listen to him. But this is one that I'm like, nah, bro.
Yeah, no, I think sometimes Occam's razor is the simplest result, and that's what we have here. Moving on to the main event. First of all, Bunny, it's been a pleasure to have you back on the breakdown.
Dustin Poirier!
We got a diamond to break down. Bunny kind of likes Dustin Poirier. Well, only her favorite fighter. Dustin Poirier is what he's known as in these households. Taking on Charlie Oliveira. Brazil versus Louisiana here, 32 years old versus 32 years old. Both these guys in the prime of their careers right now, 5'10", 5'9", 74 inches. There's a 73-inch reach. I will be breaking down Dustin the Diamond Poirier. We know him. We love him. He's been around the block. He's paid his dues in blood, 28-6 now, coming off of those wins over whatever his name is, Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor, I believe he's Irish. Beat him twice. Stopped him in both of those. They can say it was a broken ankle, but that was over either way.
Oh my God! Watch it again. At the 13-second mark. Watch it again. Yeah, oh my God!
Correct. Yeah, and then beat Dan Hooker prior to that. Only loss coming to Khabib Nurmagomedov in quite some time here. Just a very good, well-rounded fighter here. We know Dustin. He's got great hands. He's got underrated submission game. Good wrestling. He's got to use it. Dog's trying to pick up a bone. He got it. There you go, Charlie. Good job. Speaking of Charlie, Charles Oliveira, Charlie Olives, 31-8. Gotta love him, man. 32 years old. He's paid his dues in blood as well. 9 straight wins for him. He's really figured it out. Put together the striking and the grappling at this point. A legit black belt. Put away Michael Chandler by second round KO after getting 10-8 in that first round. And really did kind of displace some of those rumors that he quit still in tough situations. He's definitely not a quitter. I definitely don't think Dustin Poirier needs you to quit in order to win. Dustin Poirier has a gas tank that I think is going to be the difference in this fight. I do think this fight goes into championship rounds. I think Dustin Poirier gets a 4th round finish in this fight. I think it's a war up until then. I think this is back and forth. I love Dustin Poirier. I do not think this is an foregone conclusion that Dustin wins. And more importantly, I don't think that that Dustin thinks it's a foregone conclusion that he wins. And so I got a 4th round KO for Dustin Poirier here. And still what should be said, but it's going to be and new with Dustin Poirier. With Dustin Poirier taking this one. So Dustin Poirier, he's on crown champ, and he gets it here. I'm not discounting Charlie Oliveira at all, and that's what every Charlie Oliveira fan's going to say, is that everybody's discounting him, and that everybody. Well, I just think that Poirier's muscle, the mass, the power, and the ability. He's got an underrated cardio game. I don't think that Oliveira's got bad cardio either. I don't think that's the reason he wins in the 4th round. I just think the power gets through and he wins. So I got Poirier 4th round KO.
That's what makes this fight so exciting, and it does suck. It's beauty. It's like beauty and pain all around. Nobody wants to see Charlie or Dustin lose, but we all want to see Charlie and Dustin win. Unfortunately, fortunately for me, Dustin is going to win. There's just no doubt in my mind. I know I'm completely biased, but Charlie Oliveira, with all due respect, big Charlie Oliveira fan. He has his belt now. He's got the title. He earned it. He was rocked by Chandler, and he had the chicken leg dance. And Dustin is a much harder hitter than Chandler, with all due respect, because I love Chandler. If Chandler can make Charles do the chicken dance, Dustin, no question, sooner and harder can make Charlie do the chicken dance. And Dustin is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Don't think that just because Charlie Oliveira is a great grappler that Dustin can't grapple. He can, and he will if he has to. But Dustin is broader, he's more powerful, and please do not sleep on his cardio. For fuck's sake, I don't know why people sleep on his cardio. Holy that's okay. You know that Dustin's like a born blonde, right? There you go. You're proving my point. Thank you very much. He just proved my point. Dustin's born blonde, so maybe you should do your research. But Dustin's gonna win this one, and I think it's gonna be inside rounds 1 through 3. So I don't have an exact pick. It is gonna be a TKO. I don't think it's gonna get to the floor. Dustin, I think, has a size advantage over him. I think he's just broader. He's got more muscle. And I love Charles, but he has his belt. It's not like he's fighting he's fighting to defend his belt, but he has the belt. He's already earned the belt. Dustin has been slept on longer than I've fucking been out of high school. So this is his time. And it is long overdue. Dustin all the way. And the embrace between Charles and Dustin will prove to you that both fighters are happy.
I mean, really, how cool is it that these guys both have 6-8 losses on their record?
He said easy money, Justin. Holy shit, you idiot. Oh my God. Sorry, go ahead, Aaron.
I just love that both these fighters have 6 to 8 losses. They've had the losses on the big stage in front of everybody, sometimes embarrassingly, and very, very hard finishes. So both these guys, 8-fight win streak, 9-fight win streak, they both earned their way. They're both going to have so much respect for each other. It's such a great matchup. It's a great way to end the pay-per-view cards for the year. The pay-per-view cards, I've been to so many of them this year. I've been lucky enough to attend many of them, and it's been an honor. And I really got to give the UFC credit overall this year. They've really made their pay-per-views stand out. And this one, once again, does that. And to end with Charlie Oliveira and Dustin Poirier, that is absolutely incredible of a fight. And yeah.
Can you respond to Shoebox's comment, please? Because I'm tried so hard to be professional during this.
Yeah. It's a good joke from Shoebox. Shoebox has been looking for some attention. I can't tell. Shoebox has been looking for some attention tonight. So, he's gotten it. Khabib, Khabib did not retire. Yeah, it's got to be a joke. No one could honestly think that. So he's trying to get at a bunny. Everybody always trying to get at the bunny. Everybody leave Bunny alone. Protect the bunny at all costs. Do you have any kind of final thoughts, your fight of the night maybe, or anything before we say goodbye?
I feel like it's a lame pick, but I feel like that Dustin and Charles has to be fight of the night because it's going to be such a competitive fight. Either that or go ahead. Why don't you pick yours?
Yeah, I really do. I think that Kai Yeah, I think Emmett and Danny
Who
Gay
knows?
is my.
Fight of the night.
That would be great. Okay. The beauty part of this, any of the 15 are eligible for it. So we're going to find out on Saturday. Friday, we got Cage Warriors and we got LFA. Both breakdowns are on the channel. Cage Warriors with me and Lewis of Norton MMA. Give Norton MMA a follow and go ahead and check out the breakdown. And then LFA breakdown up with Lucky Locks picks as well. And then obviously just watch the UFC one. But we're both on Dustin Poirier. We have 2 disagreements on this card, Bunny. So we're not going to be like, yeah, that is a first and probably a last, but we'll get to enjoy, a little more of either celebrating wins or wallowing in our losses as we're going along for this card. But it was great to have you back. Thank you so much for making the time. You are doing big things out there all over the place. That had a great week of MMA, and just proud of you out there. And it was just great to have you back on here. And thank you everybody in the chat for joining. The chat was popping tonight, and I'm really proud of everybody who showed up. Thank you all for being there. It means a lot. And yeah, enjoy the fights, everybody. But we are out until next time. Have a good night, everybody. Keep taking